Town Talk Radio Productions brings you this edition of the Town Talk Show, where you'll get information and insight on what's happening all across Terry County, including city, county and school news, civic events, people of interest, and much, much more. And now, here's Town Talk.
And welcome to Town Talk Show this morning, where we're being joined by John from Sandia Sprayers and Seagraves. And we're going to listen to a few commercials real quick, and then we'll be back and find out what is going on at Sandia Sprayers and Seagraves.
At Clinic Pharmacy, we monitor all your prescriptions so you don't have to. Why is that important? It's vital for your pharmacist to check for drug-to-drug interactions with every prescription you fill. And with more than 136,000 prescription drugs available in the United States, you need a caring, dedicated pharmacist to be sure that one prescription you're taking won't interact negatively with a new prescription. Caring for your health is what our professionals do best. That's Clinic Pharmacy, 901 Tahoka Road here in Brownfield, 637-7049.
Brownfield ISD, providing opportunities for all students to excel, exhibiting success in academics, athletics, and band, staying in front of technology using smartboards, iPads, and Google Books. Great facilities, including a state-of-the-art indoor practice field and training center. Uncover the opportunity. Brownfield ISD, committed to excellence.
And welcome back to the Town Talk show this morning, where we're being joined by John from Sandia Sprayers. John, how are you this morning?
I am doing good. And yourself?
Oh, I'm all right, I guess.
There we go.
Well, let's find out what's going on at Sandia. What do you got going on over there?
Well, right now we've been pretty busy. I've got several customers that brought in some pretty good 8-row toolbars that we've been converting to 16-row fold-over. I've actually got 4 of them in the shop right now that we're working on. And we're fixing to build 2 brand new ones, from one 16-row on 40s and one 16-row on 36s. So if anybody out there needs a 16-row toolbar, call me up and we'll see what we can do.
How long is it taking you to build them start to finish if you're having to build one completely? Because I know sometimes you go to some of these bigger places and that's the issue, is they're like, oh, we're 3 weeks, 4 weeks out and stuff like that. Where are y'all sitting at on that?
We're fixing to start one brand new one. It's going to take me, from the time we start to finish, if I don't have nothing else come up in between, it's going to take me about a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Now, are you getting gauge wheels for it and everything and putting them on there? Or is that the farmer's job? You're just building it? What all are you doing for the toolbars?
I mean, we can set it up completely with the gauge wheels, whatever shanks the customer wants. I mean, I can set it up to where whenever he picks it up or I deliver it, I mean, he just hooks up his tractor and goes. So I can do complete turnkey.
Now, you said that you're also, building ones or converting 8 rows into 16 rows. What does that all consist of?
What I start off with is I go to the grower's field or to his shop and go look at the one that he's thinking about, converting to 16 row. If it's a good stout bar, 4x7 with a 4x4 rear, I mean, and if it's nice and true, I mean, it doesn't take much. I just cut out the hinges on our CNC table, and then I just get the brand new steel for the wings and hydraulics, cylinders and stuff like that, and it takes me about 3 to 4 days to get one like that finished up.
What's the most expensive part on that? It has to be the cylinders and stuff, or is it the metal, or?
I guess the labor, and then there's some CNC time involved, which that's not the cheapest thing out there.
Right.
And all the the small, the hydraulic cylinder, the fitting, and everything. It just whatever goes into it. It's a lot of small details that go into it.
Are they full fold over, or they still kind of up a little bit, or does it just depend upon what the farmer wants?
The ones I'm building right now, they're supposed to fold over pretty much completely flat. There's probably about 2 foot to where it touches down completely on itself on the main bar. So they fold over pretty good.
They fold over pretty good, clear highline wires and stuff really easy. I know that's always an issue that I have personally had, is 16-row bar going under a highline wire, and you're like, I don't know about this.
Well, when I was still out working for my dad on the farm, we started converting some 12-row into 16, and some of the first ones we did, we just went, we added on to the wings itself, and we had one of our guys tear down a meter pole just due to improperly widening it. So, but if a customer comes to me, wanting to extend the toolbar or anything, I go out there and look, and I make sure to where it'll be feasible to do it for me and for him, and to where he's going to get a long, return on investment, so to speak.
Now, how long have you been doing this side of the fabricating stuff?
At Sandia Sprayer, I've been doing it for just over a year. We've been doing, when I was still working for my dad on the farm, we had a nice shop and some good, fabrication equipment. So I've been doing this now for a good 5 years.
What else do y'all do besides build toolbars?
I am a TNL dealer, so if you need, I know a lot of new CRP is coming out for organic peanuts and stuff like that. If anybody needs a pivot out there, give us a call and we'll quote you a pivot and see what we can do. And we sell a lot of irrigation components, PVC. I actually sell submersible pumps, Franklin motors, and just pretty much anything you can use on the farm that we kind of have. If we don't have, we can usually get it in a very timely manner. You
talk about being a TNL dealer. Do y'all also service the TNLs? Do y'all have somebody that can do that, or do y'all know anybody that can do that? Because I know that's a big issue around here, is somebody to service TNLs.
I currently do not have anybody to go out and service, but I'm in the process of looking for a guy to do that, and we're trying to get some numbers together to, if there's a lot of TLs out there.
Yeah, I have 3.
You've got 3 of
them? I have 3 of them.
I've talked to my brother-in-law. He's the one that used to set up TNLs, but he's getting into the farming a little bit. So I've sat down with him on occasion, and I need to sit down with him again and see if he. And there's some guys out there that can do it, but I don't have a service guy as of yet. But we're looking into it.
So whenever you first took over Sandia just primarily sold tanks, right?
Tanks, and in some, I guess, 20 years ago, those little spray booms, you mount behind the tractor to spray crops. Things have definitely changed from 20 years ago until today.
When you first took over Sandia, how many years ago is it now?
My dad bought Sandia Sprayers. It's almost 4 years now.
Almost 4 years now?
And I've been the manager there just over a year now.
So whenever y'all took it over as a family and you took it over as a manager, what made you decide that, hey, there's a need to expand? There's a need to start fabricating stuff, a need to start selling pivots and stuff like that?
Well, we went into it, whatever we use on my dad's farm, we want to try to sell it, to the surrounding growers, in the Seagraves and surrounding area. And, it's been rough, but things are starting to pick up. And as of right now, we're pretty busy in the fab shop.
Is that where you're the busiest at right now, is in the fab shop?
Yes, and then with, irrigation is starting to pick up, so we've sold quite a bit of irrigation supplies and parts, and that's really starting to pick up right now.
Do y'all carry gearboxes and stuff like that?
I do. Gearboxes and center drives, and also do contactors, pump handle boxes. I mean, just pretty much whatever you use to keep a farm running. We try to carry it.
And I know that's a big deal for like the small town of Seagraves to have something like that, because I mean, when you're in Loop, that's the last thing, or Loop or Seagraves, that's the last thing you want to do is drive to Denver City, Seminole, or Brownfield to get your parts, because it takes a lot of time away from what else you could be doing, because breakdowns never happen in a ideal situation.
They never do. You always get breakdowns in the most inconvenient time. And growing up on the farm, helping my dad for 15 years, I know exactly how that goes.
So that's another reason why you decided to do some of this other stuff and branch out there, is because you saw the need for it?
Yes.
Locally as well? Now at the fab shop, you also build panels, cattle panels, and stuff like that as well?
I guess since we're trying to focus on toolbars and nurse tanks as of right now. But if anybody out there, wants a really good cattle panel, very heavy, very stout, I've got another 30 on order from a good customer of mine in the Seagraves area.
You talk about building nurse tank trailers and stuff. You building goosenecks, drag types, just whatever a farmer wants.
Right now, we're just trying to focus on the drag type, from anywhere from the 1,000-gallon to 1,600-gallon, depending on what sprayer the customer has. If he's got one of the smaller John Deere's, they've got a 600-gallon tank. So, a 1,200-gallon nurse tank, for 2 fill-ups, or for the bigger sprayers like my dad has, 800-gallon tanks, a 1,600-gallon nurse tank would be ideal. That way, you've got enough water for, two solutions, mix 2 solutions,
right,
and then go out to the field and spray, and you don't have to worry about after every load, go getting water.
Because that can be a big deal with these bigger sprayers. The sprayers are getting bigger, but yet you still filling up seems to always be the biggest issue.
And then what we've done, and we've got in with a new tank manufacturer. They've been around since '93, but they're new in this area. And it's in Duraplast. They've got a plant in North Dakota, and they've got a plant in San Antonio. And in my opinion, they're a very good tank. They have a water line and a fertilizer line tank, and both tanks, both lines, they come with a 10-year warranty.
Wow!
So, and then their fertilizer line, you can use it to store fertilizer in, and they're also stout enough to handle your infuric acid and all that stuff. So you don't need 2 different tanks to just store your fertilizer or your infuric. And if you want a very good economical tank to store water in, what a lot of my customers done this year is they bought a 3,000-gallon water tank, set it up at a well, just fill that full of water, and they've got 3,000 gallons at their disposal whenever they're wanting to spray.
Right.
If their farms are kind of all in one spot, but if you're kind of spread out, it's not quite as feasible. But I've got customers that they put a 3,000-gallon tank at wherever they've got quite a few circles on one area.
You speak of Enduraplast. I mean, what color tanks are they? Because I know that sometimes makes a big difference to a farmer as what color tanks. Because I know some farmers think, well, this tank's going to grow more algae in it than this one, depending upon color, because it's going to get the water hotter and this and that.
Well, Enduraplast, on their water line, they've got black, they've got a dark green, they've got a beige, and a dark brown color. And even though they're the tan and the beige, it's a light color on the outside, but the sunlight will not penetrate to the inside of the tank. It's black, pitch black inside. So you got 4 color options there. And on their fertilizer line, they've got black, white, green, and yellow.
But the same thing, the sun's not going to penetrate because of the...
On the white one, it will. The
right.
green, it will. Those are more for your fertilizer.
Right.
And you want to see where the level's at.
Right.
With their water line, they're specifically designed, and they are UL rated to store potable water. So if you need to store drinking water and all that kind of stuff, these are UL certified for that. And that's kind of what they did with their water line. They made sure it's pitch black on the outside. So if you want to see how much water you got in there, they've got a nice little gauge that you can put on there to see where your water level's at. Or you can put a sight gauge on the outside.
Right.
Versus on your fertilizer, you don't need that. On the white, the green, and the yellow tanks, you can see where your liquid level is at all times.
Right. Well, John, let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, I want to talk to you about spraying starting to ramp up a little more. People are starting to put out more yellows, and I know that you recently bought a new hydraulic hose making machine.
Yes.
So let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and find out some more about that machine.
All right.
When it comes to delicious food, great wine, and an inviting atmosphere, look no further than the Triple D. The Triple D offers not only unique food items on their menu, they also have an excellent assortment of your favorite wines to go along with your meal. Located in downtown Brownfield, the Triple D isn't just a restaurant, it's also a great place to enjoy a glass of wine while listening to some of the best in live entertainment. The Triple D is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Friday evenings between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Check out their Facebook for daily lunch specials as well as their live entertainment schedule. Call 637-0243 or just stop by their location at 519 West Main. The Triple D, your first stop for fun, food, and wine.
Woo! Big Mac, Mac Jr., Grand Mac 2. That's 3 Mac sizes made just for you. So no matter where you might be at, there's a Big Mac for that. Big Mac for that. Lunchtime already. Today's extraordinary. There's a Big Mac for that. Got rid of all that spam. Clear the paper jam. Big Mac for that. Juicy, cheesy, iconic Big Mac burger. Now in 3 sizes. Only at McDonald's for a limited time. Man, I'm loving it. At participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
All right, welcome back. We're being joined by John from Sandia Sprayers there in Seagraves, Texas. John, let's talk a little bit about the new hydraulic hose machine that you have. You said that it was going to be ready to build hoses that you previously had to order from John Deere for your John Deere sprayers.
Yes, the high-pressure hoses that run from your pump to the wheel, hydraulic motor to the wheel, those are high-pressure hoses. Every time we've had a hose bust on my dad's machine, we always had to go to John Deere, and they don't have the hose and fittings in stock. They always order it from somebody. With this new machine that I have now, I have the capability of building that hose within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. So that gets you out in the field, up and running faster. Because from our experience, we had to wait a day, and then plus, freight it in.
Freight, yeah.
So that was extra. So we were talking downtime. And especially if you're spraying, depending on what stage your crops are at. I know in peanuts, sometimes when you have to spray for diseases and stuff like that, downtime is not an option.
No.
You have to go. So, and that was my biggest thing on getting this particular machine in with the high pressure hydraulic hoses for the John Deere sprayer applications and whatever. I know there's some other sprayers out there that use a high pressure hose.
Now, you can build other hoses too, right? Just regular hydraulic hoses. It's
Yes.
just that the main thing is the big key component of this machine is the fact that you can build those high pressure hoses.
Yes. And we can, make any hydraulic hose assemblies, whatever, the customer wants, within a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. Just depending on what they want, how much they want, and anything is possible. If I don't have the fitting, I can usually have it within the next day, but I'm trying to get a very big selection of hydraulic fittings in.
That'll be good too. That way, another one of those instances where you don't have to drive here, drive there to go get a hydraulic hose made or something like that. Because again, most inopportune time is when you always have a breakdown. Is when you're in the biggest hurry to get something done. That's when something goes wrong.
Yes, that's usually when things do go wrong.
That being said, do y'all have an after hours number 2 that you'll come out and do some stuff after hours or what there?
I've got my cell number posted on the door as well as my parts counter, Peter. And if you customer ever needs something after hours, just drop by the store or a lot of people will give our numbers out. So. And I'm working on trying to get a phone system in to where they just call my store number that we have right now, and if nobody answers at the store, it transfers to my phone. So,
to your phone.
So we're trying to get the call out service a whole lot better.
Well, that's good. And you talk about your dad and the fact that you grew up on the farm, farming with him, and now you're doing this business. Talk about your family a little bit, kind of your background, maybe some, and then wife, kids, stuff like that.
Well, my dad and my mom, my mom is originally from Mexico. My dad is from Belize. And my dad's been here since he was 13 years old. My mom has only been here since they got married. And I was born and raised here. Grew up in Denver City pretty much my whole life. I've been in Seminole a little bit. Now I'm in Seagraves. So this is home to me. This is where we're at. And my dad started farming about 16 years ago, and started off with a section, and he just made it work, and he grew it up to about 6,000 acres right now.
Oh, wow.
So he's running a farm, and also, we decided that wasn't enough, so went and bought a store. And now we're thinking that's not even enough. Now we just purchased two cotton harvesting machines, a CS690 and a CP690.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to do custom harvesting this year yet. For my dad.
Fun.
So apparently we can't get enough stuff going. There's always more.
There's always more to go on.
Yes.
And then your wife, she also works there at the store, correct?
Yes, she does. She's going to start working part-time now because we're expecting another baby, so she's going to take a leave of absence for a while. But she's been working there since they bought the store for about 4 years now.
And then up front, you have your guys working up front.
I've got Peter Friesen working up front. He's I guess the only guy right now that I've got working up front, and I think I've trained him pretty good. He gets the hang of certain things pretty quick, so you got to give him a little bit of slack here and there, but overall he picks up quick and does a good job.
That's good. Let's talk about inside the store and some of the things you offer inside the store. I know y'all carry a fairly large line of Makita products and stuff like that.
Yes.
What else do y'all carry inside the store?
We carry. We've got tools, hand tools, and Makita power tools. I've got a big selection of Bandro products. Valves, fittings, hose barbs, clamps. We also carry, all your hoses for discharge for your nurse tanks to fill up your sprayers. I've got all that, and then we do all the small fittings, the drop hoses for your pivots. I'm working on getting with one of my vendors to get set up to start carrying sprinkler heads and stuff like that. And I can do pivot printouts for for your packages and everything. And I mean a little bit of everything.
I know during peanut harvest time you carried some peanut harvest parts and replacement parts.
Mm-hmm.
You do the same during planting season and kind of change throughout the seasons what kind of parts you carry in there.
And with planting season approaching, we're fixing to start bringing out some of the planter parts that I can get my hands on. I can't get everything yet. I'm still trying to look for different parts that I can get my hands on. But I can do your small gauge wheels, your disc openers. I can do your chain. Some of the basic parts I can do. Some of the more intricate, more John Deere, I can't get my hands on just yet, but I'm working on getting more parts in every day.
I know right now people are still kind of breaking and stuff like that. Do you carry points, shins, stuff like that now?
I do. I carry. I did carry the tattoo shares and shins until everything got bought out. Since tattoo is from Brazil, it's hard. It's a 3-month wait time to get products in once you order it. And that being said, tattoo being a very popular plow, I've got. And then this year we introduced a new share for the John Deere, also made by Tattoo. And so far we've had the feedback I'm getting on them is fairly good, but there's only 2 or 3 guys that I've sold them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying, making sure everything is working. But I do carry it for Tattoo, for John Deere, and for the Ferris plow, the Baker plow. Those two use the same shin and shares.
Right.
And I carry all that stuff too. And for your tooling as far as bedding, listing, knife sweeps, just whatever you use on the farm as far as tillage goes. I have a lot of stuff in stock, but if I don't have, I can usually get it.
That was going to be my next question, is if you had busters and sweeps and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then you have all the bolts and stuff as well. You have a great selection back over there in the corner.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good big selection of nuts and bolts, and go back to the tillage tools. I've also got your clamps for your 4x4 bars to put your 1x3 shanks on. I've also got some of those round shanks that a lot of people are going to. I've got quite a few of those in stock. So I'm just trying to, whatever the trend is out on the, what the growers are trending to. I'm trying to keep up with everything and try to keep it all in stock. And
at the same time, you're still doing everything that Sandia started doing back when they first started too, by having all the nurse tanks and those products as well. So
the only thing that we didn't carry over is the 3-point spray booms.
Right, and those are for the most part becoming obsolete, anyways.
They did, except for the guy trying to get into farming now. He can't afford a John Deere sprayer
right away. Right.
Those are more the guys that would use that particular piece of equipment. But and my competitor, they make a good one, so I don't think it's really feasible for me to make one.
Right. Have y'all looked at making like the rollers and the sponge rigs and the wipe rigs or anything like that I know a lot of people are buying here lately?
I haven't so much looked at building one, but I can get all the components to make the weed wiper. And I know Smucker Manufacturing, from what I've been told, makes one of the better weed wipers, and I can get all the parts and components to put something together.
Because I know that's becoming a big thing as well. The more resistant weeds we get, having alternative means to get rid of them.
And speaking of resistant weeds, with this new technology coming out, the dicamba-based product, I've the EPA only certified the one particular tip from TJet, and that's the TTI 11004, and I've got quite a bit of those in stock right now, ready to go.
That's a good thing as well, because that's important. I mean, with as many grapes as we have around and everything else, these different products and these different chemicals are going to be great for use on your practice on your farm, but at the same time, the liability.
It's a very great responsibility using the dicamba products, because I've seen what it does if you're not careful. And I've built. We also custom built a broadcast hooded sprayer, a 16-row fold up, and the way I designed that one is it folded up 2 times, so it was narrow at the bottom for the transport width, but it was a full 16-row toolbar.
That's good. So you would build more of those too if somebody was interested.
Yes, if they're interested, definitely, don't hesitate to call or stop by, and then we can definitely see what we can do for the customer.
Speaking of grapes, do y'all carry any products for grapes right now?
As of right now, I do not, since the grapes are more in brownfield. I've got one customer has some grapes between Seagraves and Loop, and he hasn't come in to request any equipment or anything. So as of right now, I wouldn't know what they use in the grape industry.
Well, John, sounds like a lot of good things going on over at Sandia. We thank you for joining us this morning, and look forward to having you in again sometime. And thank you for being a sponsor of everything you sponsor in the Seagraves, Denver City, and Wellman area. And if y'all are in that area and need something, I can promise you, if they don't have it, they'll do their best to get it. I've been in there a bunch of times over the last year, so they're good people over there, and we appreciate that. So,
well, I appreciate you guys having me on and taking the opportunity to do this. And then before we leave, I'm just going to also throw it out there that I just became a Montauk dry fertilizer dealer for the dry fertilizer card. So if anybody out there has seen the units out there, is interested in one, call me up and see what we can do.
Well, you want to go ahead and give out your phone numbers as well as where y'all are located there in Seagraves?
We are located at 401 Railroad Avenue in Seagraves, Texas. And the office number is 806-387-3049.
All right. And John, we again appreciate you coming in, and thank you for everything Sandia does. This has been the Town Talk Show this morning. We will be back tomorrow with the morning show, and then followed by the Town Talk Show again. This has been Justin Cabe, and we thank you for joining us.
You've been listening to The Town Talk Show, a broadcast of Town Talk Radio Productions. If you would like to comment on our show or promote your civic or church event, or if you have an idea for an interesting story, Give us a call at 806-637-0030 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or you can drop us a line at info@towntalkradio.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.